Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. Cody Ann Smith here today. And today we're going to talk about manifestation. But we're not going to talk about manifestation in the very traditional step-by-step way to do it. I'm going to actually explain to you how the process of manifestation and the understanding of it, not just a step-by-step guide. And I guarantee you that this is going to be a lot different than any other way that you've ever heard somebody talk about manifestation before. So stay tuned. So manifestation, it has been made out to be this very ethereal thing where it's like we're just pulling stuff from the spiritual world and creating something, which we are, but people we're doing it in a way that is very mental, and we're not embodying our manifestations, which makes it so that we aren't able to actually manifest our desires, because we do live in a physical world. So I'm going to do my best today to go through and talk to you guys about the way that I see this based on what I have applied to my own life and my own studies, and how everything just kind of makes sense to me when it comes to manifesting. So for me, if you know me, you know that I'm a very spiritual person, but I'm also a very scientific type of person. I love to bring the two together. And I just feel like it makes more sense and is more grounded when we can bring the science into it, because we do live in this physical world where science is based out of. And then we're also spiritual beings, so we need both, you know? And I think our future of our world is going to be a combination of science and spirituality mixed together so that we can unlock our full potential. So, when it comes to manifesting, you hear people talk about needing a clear desire. And this is very true. This is where, you know, if you were to follow a step-by-step process, this is something that is non-negotiable. You actually do need to have a clear desire, because if you don't have a clear desire on what you want, you end up manifesting randomness, and then you're like wondering why you're not getting what you want, but you're not clear enough. So being clear in your desire actually opens up the channel for that frequency to be matched with your desire so that it can come to you, because you want to send out clear broadcasts out to the universe, to the quantum. Because when you do that, it's so much stronger. And it's just like, you've probably heard this example a lot, but when you're tuning a radio station, let's say you're trying to bring in 105.6 and you're at like 105.2 and you could hear the radio station, but you also hear fuzz. That's what's happening when people are not clear in their intention. It's like they're almost there, they're almost to that frequency match, but they're just a little off. So it's really important to start there. What do you really want? And a lot of people don't really know what they want. You know, I was the same way, and I have to go to the drawing board often to make sure that I'm in alignment still with what I want. And I do it every single day. So I recommend that, you know, doing it every single day. But you want to set an intention. You want to set the intention for what it is that you want. If you want better health, you're going to set the intention for having better health. If you want more money, you're going to set the intention for more money. Or if you're wanting to manifest your dream career, you're going to want to set the intention for that dream career. I am manifesting this. That's your intention. Okay? And another thing that I have found during my own journey is that our manifestations come to us a lot easier when we are creating from that heart-centered place. So if we're only wanting something because of external power or for external reasons, it's going to be a lot harder to manifest the things that we think we want, because it's all just the thought. It's a thought. But when you bring your heart into it, you start to magnetize things to you, because your heart energy is way more radiant than your mental energy. And you can actually see proof of this when you go to a hospital and they give you the tests for your heart. You know, they can monitor your your heart frequencies, and they can monitor your brain waves. But where you find it is that your heart frequency is so much stronger than your brain wave frequency. So a lot of people are trying to manifest from the brain wave frequency only, and they're not dropping into their heart space, which is actually radiating more of that frequency out, and you really get to magnetize stuff to you that way. So when you're creating your clear desire and your clear intention, it's important to focus and really know what feelings are going to come with that. So if you are wanting a better relationship, what are the feelings that are going to come with that? And you really want to really get really clear on the feelings, maybe the top 3 to 5, just to know. And, you know, set them aside. Set them aside. So get your attention wrote down, because the more that we bring things out to the physical world, get it out of our mind and into the physical, it like solidifies it. And then we can also write down our intention and our emotions that go with that. When we can do that, then we know exactly what we're aiming for. So it's very, very, very clear. Okay. Now, from that space, this kind of reminds me of when I quit smoking cigarettes. So when I quit smoking, I had to embody the non-smoker inside of me, which was very difficult because I smoked for 15 years. And you get addicted, which is something that we'll get into later, but you get addicted to the chemical in the cigarettes, and your body craves that. So every time that you want to go smoke a cigarette, it's like coming back to this space that I am about to share with you. It's coming back to this space of the present moment. And it's about bringing your energy back to you. Okay, so the next thing is that you want to be able to have the ability to create that peace and surrender in the moment. Next. So once you have this clear desire, you need to be able to come to this place of peace and surrender. And all that means is that you're calling your energy back to you. And all that means is that instead of your thoughts being everywhere, on your mom, on your kids, on what you're going to make for dinner, all the things, the bills you have to pay, the things you have to do tomorrow, your to-do list, everything, you literally stop thinking about all of that stuff. So for me with smoking, for example, I'm going to use this as an example. Every time that I would start to focus on needing a cigarette, I also noticed that there was other thoughts that go with that. And a lot of them were fear-based. Feelings of overwhelm, feelings of stress. And when we can pull ourselves back into the present moment, and for me, when I quit smoking, I would pull myself back into the present moment, and the cravings would go. But it was uncomfortable, because you were literally breaking the bonds, the energetic bonds and the chemical bonds at that, and shifting them to something new. So your body is like screaming at you that, no, this isn't right. And it's the same thing when you're trying to bring your energy back to you, when you're calling your energy back to you in the present moment. Because you have all these thoughts outside of you that are screaming for your attention. They're trying to get you to think over here, and your body wants you to, because your mind and your body want you to constantly be moving. And if you're familiar with Joe Dispenza, you know that we have conditioned our body to do exactly what the mind has been programmed to do. And that's how we operate. Our body is literally programmed by our mind. Our thoughts, our beliefs, our emotions program our body. And so when we can bring our energy back to us, which is our attention, where you place your attention, that's where you place your energy. And when you bring that back to you, then you are able to really sit in that space of pure potential. And from that space is where you want to manifest. If you go and try to manifest while you're thinking about everything that you need to do and thinking about all the things that you haven't done yet, it's not going to work. We create in the present moment. Whether we realize it or not, we create in the present moment. Even when we're creating from the past, we're creating in the present moment of the past, if that makes sense. We're in the past right now, and all we really have is now. So if we're creating from the past, that means we're focusing on the things that have already happened. And then we're going to create the same kind of future based on what we're creating in this present moment right now. So when we have the ability to bring ourselves back to the state of peace and surrender, where we bring and call our attention back and our energy back to us, what happens is we start to have this, our energy, if you could picture it and you're really into visualization, which I highly recommend. I'm going to get into that here very soon. Picture that you are bringing in this white energy, this white light, because we're all made of light particles. So you're bringing in this white light, and the more that you call your energy back to you, away from your to-do list, away from having to do the dishes, and right here in the moment, your energy is becoming to be filled with this white light, and it's starting to radiate out. You're embodying all of you. You're no longer living in the past. You're no longer living in the future. You're living now. And you are so powerful in that moment when you can bring all of your energy to the now. So, what this does, like I said earlier, is it unbonds energetic patterns. So, Joe Dispenza talks about that we create energetic bonds with our past based on our physical body. So our neurons, we fire neurons together, which create this energetic pattern. And when we start to break those neurons or break those patterns and rewire to something else, it's very uncomfortable. But it's about consistency and being able to stay in the present moment. Now, I know it's hard, and I'm not saying that you have to live in the present moment at all times, exactly at all times, because it's like right now it's going to be a practice, you know? Don't beat yourself up for slipping out of the present moment, because it's going to happen, you know? So we want to create from that space of peace and surrender and having our energy called back to us. And from there, you really start to visualize. Now, Jim Newman, the founder of the term, the comfort zone, he says in his book, Releasing Your Brakes, that I times V equals R, which is imagination times vividness equals reality. So if you can imagine your deepest desire with a vividness to it, vividness, which means that you actually feel like you're there right now. You use your 5 senses in that moment to really feel into all of that potential. And you visualize and you put your energy in that space of already having what it is that you want now. And you really hold that frequency. The more that you're able to hold that frequency, come in, unattach yourself from the outside world and bring all your attention back. And when you can really create from that place where you're using your imagination and you're really vividly looking into your desire, you're feeling those desires, you literally create your reality. Literally. And so it's an energetic thing at first. We create from the space of energy. It's energy first, and then it becomes chemical, which is our physical world. And this is so important because when it comes to embodying, I think this is going to be a lesson in its own, but I'm going to go ahead and put it in here just because I think it's really important when it comes to manifesting is that we learn embodiment, because a lot of what's going on right now when people are trying to manifest is that they're in their mind, they're constantly playing these movies in their mind, but they're not dropping into their heart frequency and they're not embodying that energy. Instead, they're just letting the real play in their mind, and they're not feeling the feelings. So I'm going to tell you about embodiment, probably in a way that you've never heard it before. And you know what? That's great, because it'll open up a new perspective and maybe hopefully make some sense to you. All right. So embodiment. This is kind of the definition that I came up with for embodiment, just because it's what makes sense to me right now. And that is creating chemical experiences for what you desire that goes deep into your cells and your genetic expression. So I'm going to say that one more time. Embodiment is creating a chemical experience for what you desire that goes deep into your cells and your genetic expression. So that's what embodying is. You can feel it when you embody something. You can feel it in the core of yourself. You can feel it in your cells. You can feel it in every fiber of your being. That is what embodiment is, but it goes deeper. Okay. So when it comes to our body and programming our body, it starts with a thought. Whatever thoughts that we are thinking creates an emotion. So we create a thought first in the brain, which is the energetic part to this. It's like a spark. We create this thought, this idea, it's the spark. And then our brain creates an emotion, energy in motion, an emotion that turns into a chemical. So emotions are also chemical. So the body creates a chemical based on the emotions that we're feeling that come from a thought. And so from that chemical place, from that chemical that we create from our brain, it gets distributed throughout our body, literally. This signal, this chemical signal gets broadcasted throughout our body, and it reaches our cells. Our cells have receptors on them. And these receptors pick up chemicals or environmental signals. Thank you, Bruce Lipton, for your work. But they pick up environmental signals. And when that happens, it creates a protein, which ultimately, from there, it writes your genetic expression or your genetic code. So if you know anything about epigenetics, you know this already. But we create that gene code based on the signal that we're sending to our cells, which all stems from a thought and an emotion. And then from there, your life, your physical life, this chemical world, this chemical life of yours, this really dense life of yours is created. Your life and you are just an expression of your genetic makeup. And that's what embodiment's about. So everything starts as energy. And it's a lot lighter and a lot less dense. And then the more that comes down into this physical world, it's kind of like a funnel. So you have all this lighter energy up here, and it gets funneled down to this more dense of a place, this chemical place, this 3D world. And when we bring our thoughts from that energetic space down into our body, and we create the chemicals in our body that expresses our genes, that is the embodiment of our manifestations. That is why we can create our own dis-ease, whether we realize it or not. Or we can create our own ease if we're conscious of it. We can create anything because we are unlimited beings. We live in an unlimited, full of potential universe. The quantum field is unlimited potential. And every time that we place our ideas or our energy on something, we're collapsing the wave. We're collapsing a frequency into a reality. So let's think about it. You are wanting to create a better relationship. You have all the characteristics wrote down, and so here's the frequency of the relationship that you want, and here's your frequency matching it. And right as you match it and you find that in your reality, it collapses the wave and it turns into a particle, which is literally just the physical expression. And I know this is going deep, so I hope that you're staying with me here. But when it comes to manifestation, it's not just one of those way out there things that we cannot grasp. Yes, it starts energetically in the spiritual and consciousness world. It absolutely does. And it does have to do with energy. But you have to be able to embody that too. Because if you don't embody your manifestations, it will not show up in this physical world. Because we live in a physical world. And if we want to manifest something into this physical world, we have to bring it to the physical world. And our body is a tool that helps that to happen. So, is there anything else? Yeah, I completely missed this little section that I wrote down. So when you are creating from that space, when you're creating from that space where you've already called all your energy back and you know your desires, you want to tap into a high frequency feeling. Joy, gratitude, thankfulness, appreciation, ease, peace, freedom, whatever it may be for you that matches your desire. You want to create that frequency, that emotion, because that is really what manifesting is about. It's about matching frequencies. And like we said, the thought is the spark of it. The thought is the spark. It's the energetic part of this. And then the emotion is what brings things to you. It's what magnetizes to you. So you want to raise your emotion to whatever meets that desire. So whatever matches that desire, and bring that to you. Now, this is a process, you guys. This isn't something that you just master in a day. This is something that you continuously work at. Because we are creators, that means that we are creating as we live, as we go out into this world, as we think and feel, we are creating. And I know it's easy to fall into that autopilot, that conditioning where you create from your past experiences or live in the future. And to bring those together and bring your energy back, that is when you become that powerhouse where you can step out and create anything you want to. And remember, the how is not your job. Because when you tap into that unlimited potential, you're tapping into the unknown. And a lot of people fear the unknown because we like to cling to what we know. Because we are so fearful of what could potentially happen. But it's time to embrace those fears. It's time to know that you are the creator. And the only way that that fear has power is if you let it. Surrender in that moment and call your energy back. Don't let yourself fall victim to your own fears. Because if you really look around, that's what a lot of this is about. We're living in a very fear-based society, that's clinging and they want to control. And that's why they want to create this power outside of them and control other people's, because they're fearful. And that is one reason why I can have so much compassion for even the people that do some of the most messed up things in this world. Because at that point, that they're just scared. But we don't have to stay there. And we have the ability to manifest our desires right this moment. And sometimes it happens quickly and sometimes it takes a while. There's things that I've manifested. I've manifested checks in the mail months after I wanted to actually see if I could do that. It was the coolest thing ever. And then there was a time when I literally manifested cash the same day that I didn't want to spend the amount that I spent. And it was so cool. And I don't know if I don't think I'm going to get into the whole story now, but One of these days, you're going to hear some of these stories that this video is already getting super long. And so I want you guys to know that manifesting, yeah, you can pay attention to the process. It's not that it's a bad thing to pay attention to the step-by-step process, but I want you to understand it. I want you to understand that you're bringing the energy into this physical world. So you're creating something into chemistry when you embody the new you and stepping into that next level of you. And that's another point that I missed. That's really important. So I hope you're still here. And if you are still here, I'm glad. But when we're manifesting, we want to create from that space of being that next level version of us already. So when I quit smoking cigarettes, I embodied the person who didn't smoke cigarettes. And every time my body craved that chemical, which, I mean, we're addicted to our emotions too, because it's a chemical, or turns into a chemical. Every time that I would have one of those cravings, I would pull my energy back and become in the present moment every single time. It didn't even matter. Sometimes it was 100 times a day. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes it was 100 times a day, because when you smoke cigarettes, you wake up, you smoke. You smoke before you cook. You smoke before you get in a car. You smoke after you get out of a car. You smoke after you eat. You smoke before you read a book. You smoke after you read a book. Literally, you smoke all the time, before and after you do anything in your life. So when you quit smoking, it's one of the hardest things to do. But you know what? I did it. And it's the same process as stepping into that next version of you. And that next version of you that already has that money. That next version of you who already has that relationship, or that dream career, or that amazing health. It's about embodying that and taking your attention off of the pain. If you're in pain, you can pull your attention away from that. It might not be easy, but you can do it. All right, co-creators, you beautiful people. I'm going to get off of here. I hope this was helpful for you. Please let me know in the comments any ahas that you've had, or if this was helpful for you in any way. And if you are looking into manifesting or manifestation for yourself, and it's a very complicated process for you and you need some help, go ahead and schedule a one-on-one session with me and we can take care of that. I can show you a lot of things, a lot of blocks, and show you exactly how to do whatever it is that you're trying to do. So I hope you guys have a beautiful, beautiful day today, and I will talk to you guys next time.